My brother was standing at the car. So tell me this, who was calling me from the woods in his voice? Because whatever it was, it knew exactly how he sounded.
We'd been camping in Arkansas for 3 days. Just me, my brother Dale, and our buddy Marcus. It was one of those trips you plan for months but forget about 6 months later. Cold nights, a good fire, bad card games, cheap beer. Nothing unusual. Nothing that should have ended the way it did. On the last morning, Marcus headed to the car early to get the heater running. Dale went to break down the tent. I realized I'd left my cooler near the fire pit and doubled back down the trail alone. It was a 1/4 mile, a walk I'd made 4 times already without thinking about it. The forest looked the same. Same twisted oaks, same red Arkansas dirt, same pale morning light bleeding through the canopy. But something was different. The quiet hit me first. Not the peaceful kind of quiet you get in the woods before the world wakes up. This was removed quiet. Surgical. Like every living thing in that forest had received a warning that I hadn't. No birdsong, no rustle of squirrels, no distant woodpecker, just my footsteps and the sound of my own breathing, which suddenly felt very loud. I grabbed the cooler and turned to head back. That's when I heard Dale. "Hey, come here real quick, you gotta see this." His voice came from the tree line to my left, deep in the brush, way off any trail. I stopped walking. Something locked up in my chest. Not fear exactly, something older than fear. Something that lives below conscious thought and only speaks up when it absolutely has to. I called back, asked what he found. Silence. A long, thinking silence. Then, closer. "Just come here. It's worth it, trust me." But here's what my brain caught even as my mouth was forming a reply. Dale never says trust me. Not once in 30 years. It's not a phrase he uses. Whoever taught this thing to sound like my brother had learned his voice, but not his language. I took 1 step backward, then another. Something peeled itself out of the shadows between 2 oaks. Tall, wrong tall. The kind of height that makes your brain quietly refuse to process what your eyes are sending it. Its limbs were too long, joints bending in places joints shouldn't exist. Across its shoulders hung something dark and matted. Animal hide, draped like a cloak that didn't quite fit. It turned its head toward me. I want to tell you I saw a monster, something easy to file away and dismiss. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't call out. I didn't breathe until my boots hit the gravel parking lot. Dale was leaning against the car, scrolling his phone. Marcus was eating chips. "Thought you fell in the creek," Dale said without looking up. I almost told them. I opened my mouth and then closed it. How do you explain that something in those woods had been listening to your brother long enough to steal his voice? I said nothing. We drove home. That night, around midnight, my phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text from Dale's number. "You should have come when I called." Dale's phone was on his charger in his room. He'd been asleep for 2 hours. I sat in the dark, staring at that message until morning came. Some things you can't explain to people who weren't there. You just carry them. And you never, ever go back to that forest alone.
Thanks for watching. If this story gave you chills, make sure to subscribe for more real horror like this. And if you've ever experienced something like this, tell me in the comments. Subscribe if you want more stories like this, because the next one might be even worse.